Hello, church family. I have a question for you. Are you in a place needing the Lord's provision today? I want to encourage you that our God is faithful to provide. Yesterday, I was in that place needing His provision. My heart was heavy for everything that is going on in our world, in our nation, in our church family, in my own heart. And I was battling with all of my emotions, and I was losing the battle when my daughter called. She asked me how I was doing, and I was quite frank with her. I told her I was not doing well. As I poured out my heart to her, she listened empathetically and she encouraged me, listening to me say, I can't imagine helping anybody else right now when I'm in such a mess. At the end of our conversation, she offered to pray for me. After that, my husband came into the living room and could see that I wasn't doing well, and he offered to give me a big hug. From there, I came upstairs to this room, closed the door, cried, poured out my heart to the Lord, and laid on His altar of grace all of my heavy burden. And He was gracious to help me. I was able to get up from there and feel like I had had life breathed back into me. If you had asked me earlier in the day if I was in any position to help someone else, I would have said absolutely not. But I was amazed as several hours later I received a phone call from a church member in a place of need asking me to call another member in a place of need. God provided for me in a way earlier in the day such that I was able to then turn around and provide for others. I was absolutely amazed at His faithfulness and His provision. That is who our God is. He is a God who provides. It reminds me of the story in Genesis chapter 22, where Abraham is required of the Lord to sacrifice his one and only son, Isaac. I cannot imagine the heavy weight that Abraham was bearing as he, with his son in tow, carrying the wood, ascended Mount Moriah 2,500 feet and had his only son ask of him, Father, behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? So confident was Abraham of the Lord's provision that he says to his son, God will provide for himself the lamb. And just as Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac, he hears from heaven his name, Abraham, Abraham, and an angel saying, Do not lay your hand on the boy. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and he looked in the thicket, and there he saw the provision of the Lord, a ram. The scripture says that and Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of that place, The Lord Will Provide. As it is said to this day, on the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. If you are in that place, like I was yesterday or Abraham was, carrying a heavy burden, may I encourage you to lay it on the altar and to allow the Lord to provide for you. He will. He is faithful to do it. I promise. God bless you, church family.